Do you ever find yourself in a daydream? If you're a guy, you've probably thought about maybe the hot girl at school that you hope to one day date. Maybe you've thought about that car that you're fixing up, or you hope maybe your parents will buy you when you turn 16. Or maybe you even thought about that football pass or that throw that would be the esteem of the school if you caught it or passed it in the last minutes, seconds of the football championship game. Maybe it's that basketball game that you hit the final shot at the buzzer. If you're a girl, you've probably thought a lot of similar things, but you've probably thought about that guy also. It's that guy that when you hear his name or you see him, your heart races and you kind of just melt at the thought of who he is. But you've also probably thought about your wedding day. You've thought about who would be in your wedding. You've thought about what flowers you would have. You've thought about your dress. You've probably thought about a lot of things. I don't know what your daydreams consist of, but I would be willing to bet as we sit in a classroom right here that during some of your classes, maybe one or two of them, you've probably gotten lost in a daydream or two. But let me ask you a question. What would happen if our daydreams actually became a reality? Guys, what would happen if you actually got to date that hot girl in school? Ladies, what would happen if that guy that makes your heart race actually asked you out on a date, and he took you out on a date and he opened the doors and everything was awesome and he was like a godsend? What would happen if you fast forward, a couple of years and it's your wedding day and you're able to look at pictures and you realize that, man, I had a picture-perfect wedding. But what if our daydreams were about the world being a different place? Think about it. What if our world wasn't full of selfish people? What if our world was totally accepting of each other and totally forgiving of each other? Sounds kind of nice, doesn't it? But what if it was a reality? Think about it. It would change your families, it would impact your schools, and it would have an effect on every friendship you ever had. Here's the reality. It all starts with you. You set the pace, and you have the opportunity to take your daydreams and make them a reality. But let me be honest, it's not going to be easy. It's going to require hard work, and sometimes you're going to feel like giving up. But it can become a reality. You play an important role. Let's see how you would answer some of these difficult situations. Would you rather accept your parents' worst habits or not be accepted at school? Would you rather forgive someone for something terrible they did to you or not be forgiven for something insignificant that you did? Would you rather greet someone you don't get along with or be ignored by someone you like? Would you rather quickly help someone you don't know and will never see again or help someone for several hours that you usually ignore? Would you rather follow leadership you don't respect in a significant event or lead an insignificant event yourself? The way you answer these questions says a lot about you and your relationships. Remember, God calls us to be relational, and the Bible has a lot to say about our role in these relationships. Just think, God uses you to be an influence, and who knows, you could be the change that's needed to make a daydream a reality.